Coffee has a way of sneaking into almost everyone's daily routine. For some, it's the fuel that powers an early morning rush to work. For others, it's part of a slow, intentional ritual, grinding beans, boiling water, and savoring each sip like it's an art form. But here's the thing, not all coffee is created equal, and how you make it can completely change the experience. That brings us to today's question. Should you go for the quick convenience of instant coffee or the rich satisfaction of brewed coffee? This is the ultimate battle of instant coffee versus brewed coffee. And by the end of this video, you might just rethink the way you enjoy your cup, right here on History of Simple Things. Let's start with a bit of history. Brewed coffee, of course, has been around for centuries. The earliest records date back to 15th century Yemen, where coffee was brewed in traditional pots and served as part of social and religious practices. From there, coffee spread through the Ottoman Empire and eventually across Europe, becoming a global obsession. Instant coffee, on the other hand, is a much newer invention. The first version was created in the late 19th century, with mass production really kicking off in the early 20th century. It gained huge popularity during wartime. Soldiers needed a fast, easy way to get their caffeine fix. By the 1950s, instant coffee was everywhere, marketed as the modern and efficient way to enjoy your daily brew. So while brewed coffee is steeped in tradition and culture, instant coffee is more of a product of industrial convenience. That history alone already says a lot about their roles in our daily lives. Now let's talk about the actual process of making each type. Brewed coffee is pretty straightforward. You grind roasted coffee beans, mix them with hot water, and extract the flavors. Depending on your method, drip, French press, pour over, espresso, you'll get slightly different results, but the core idea is the same. You're pulling oils, flavors, and caffeine directly from ground beans. Instant coffee, though, goes through a more complex process. It starts the same way: roast the beans, grind them, and brew them in huge batches. But instead of drinking it right away, the brewed coffee is dehydrated, usually through freeze-drying or spray drying. What you're left with are small granules or crystals. When you add hot water at home, you're basically rehydrating a pre-brewed coffee. This difference in process explains why instant coffee often tastes a little flat compared to brewed. It's essentially coffee that's been brewed once, dried, and then rebrewed in your cup. Okay, let's be honest. Flavor is where the biggest divide happens. Brewed coffee tends to be richer, fuller, and more complex. You can taste fruity notes, chocolatey undertones, or even hints of caramel, depending on the bean and roast. It's fresh, and you can usually smell the difference the moment it's brewed. Instant coffee, while drinkable, is often described as thinner or slightly bitter. Some brands have improved their formulas and can taste surprisingly good. But overall, it doesn't quite match the depth of a freshly brewed cup. For people who aren't too picky, instant coffee does the job. But for coffee lovers who treat it like an art form, brewed coffee wins by a landslide in this category. But let's not dismiss instant coffee just yet. When it comes to convenience, instant coffee dominates. It's literally in the name, instant. You just need hot water, stir, and you're done. It's perfect if you're running late at work, camping, or even traveling. No coffee machine, no filters, no mess. Brewed coffee, while rewarding, takes more time and effort. You need equipment, ground beans, and sometimes even a scale if you're being precise. Brewing methods like pour-over or French press can take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, not including cleanup. That's not ideal if you're in a rush. So if you value speed and zero hassle, instant coffee is the clear winner here. Now here's an interesting part. Is one healthier than the other? Both instant and brewed coffee come from the same beans, so they share most of the same benefits: antioxidants, improved mental alertness, and a reduced risk of certain diseases. But there are some slight differences. Instant coffee usually has a little less caffeine than brewed coffee. For some people, that's a good thing. Less jittery side effects. But if you rely on coffee to really wake you up, brewed might be more satisfying. Instant coffee also contains slightly higher amounts of acrylamide, a chemical formed during the roasting process. While high levels of acrylamide can be harmful, the amount in coffee is considered safe. So, overall, both are healthy in moderation, but brewed coffee has a slight edge if you're chasing maximum antioxidants and caffeine. Another factor worth considering is the environment. Brewed coffee can be wasteful if you're not careful. Filters, leftover grounds, and even single-use pods add up. But coffee grounds are compostable, and eco-friendly methods like reusable filters or French presses help reduce waste. Instant coffee actually has a surprisingly smaller footprint. Since it's lightweight, easy to transport, and doesn't require as much packaging per serving, it's considered more eco-friendly in some studies. Of course, how the beans are sourced and farmed matters more than the brewing method, but instant does have a case for sustainability. So after everything we've covered, history, taste, convenience, cost, health, and even culture, which one really comes out on top? The truth is, there's no single winner. Brewed coffee clearly takes the crown when it comes to flavor, tradition, and the full coffee experience. But instant coffee shines in convenience, affordability, and practicality. At the end of the day, coffee is coffee. Both give us comfort, energy, and that little spark that helps us get through life. Instead of asking which one is better, maybe the real question is, which one works best for you? Instant coffee might be your go-to during the work week when mornings feel like chaos, while brewed coffee can be your weekend luxury when you finally have time to slow down. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.